Minister, in respect to the permits, businesses are struggling to get workers. What is the status regarding on the time issuing on permits, as employers are experiencing labour shortages and having financial impact on the businesses?
As you know, Ireland operates a managed employment permit system, maximising the benefits of economic migration and minimising the risk of disrupting Ireland's labour market. The regime is designed to facilitate the entry of appropriately skilled non-EEA nationals to fill skills or labour shortages in the state in the short to medium term. In framing policy, consideration is given to other instruments that are also available in meeting skills shortage challenges, such as upskilling and activation of people who are unemployed. Following an internal plan of action which increased resources and implemented efficiency measures, the Employment Permits Unit has significantly reduced the processing time for employment permit applications as compared with last year, when waiting time had peaked at 21 weeks. The current processing time for new employment permits is a lot shorter than that. It's about 18 days now, or if it's on the critical skills list, it's about 16 days. My department works with other government departments to provide an integrated approach to address labour and skills shortages in the longer term. My department actively responds to concerns raised by various sectors about skills supply shortages, as evidenced by several amendments to the Employment Permits Regulation over recent years, whereby sectors most impacted by skills shortages were provided with access to employment permits, including in agriculture and in the agri-food sector. The occupational lists, ineligible occupational lists and the critical skills occupational lists for employment permits are subject to evidence-based reviews, incorporating consideration of available research and a public consultation which provides stakeholders with an opportunity to submit data in relation to skills or labour shortages. Submissions to the review are considered by the Interdepartmental Group on Economic Migration Policy, with membership drawn from relevant departments who may provide observations on the occupations that are under review. My department is currently engaged with other government departments, including the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine, to consider submissions received in the last public consultation to review the occupations list, which ran from June to August of this year. We got over 100 submissions during that process, and hopefully we'll be able to finalise the new choices that we'll make, I suspect, by the middle of next month.
Thank you, Minister, for your reply, but as much as I take from what you've read into account, it's not factual, because we have permits coming through our office at the moment. And we have permits coming through our offices at the moment that we are dealing with people. And we're on the third month at the moment with some of them, and they've been delayed. And we contact the offices and they said, yes, it's been processed. But where you're saying it's 18 days and then for 16 days are critical, we have hospitality sector that have sections that have critical employment that they need to fill. We have the agri sector, we have transport sector, are telling us these are people that they need, and we are being told that it's been processed. Now, maybe it might be just my office, but I don't think it is, because the people that have in my office are very, very efficient and are on this on a weekly basis. And they're getting great turnarounds in certain cases, but it's a timeline that's causing this a big problem. And all we've been told is it's being processed.
Deputy, with respect, it's not your office that's going to turn them around. It's the work permit system that turns it around. Of course, any TD's office has the right to ask questions as to the status of where the applications are. But look, you know, last year this was taking months. It's now taking a short number of weeks. There may be problems with individual applications, Deputy. It may be the case that work permits need extra consideration. They may be turned down. They may not be on the critical skills list. If they're not on the critical skills list, there may be other issues that have delayed applications. I don't know the individual cases that you're concerned about, but I do know that many businesses are under pressure, waiting for work permits to be sanctioned. And you're right on that. And we have to try to deliver as efficient a system as we can. And we have significantly increased resources for the work permit section. It's a much more efficient system now than it was a year ago. Don't forget, though, that when many people apply for work permits, they also have to apply for visas. because they're coming from parts of the world that require a visa to come to Ireland. My department has no control over the timeline for visas. That's the Department of Justice. We are hoping that both Justice and my department can work together for a single application process that would secure a person a visa as well as a work permit. That will take longer because of the security issues around visas and so on. So, you know, it depends on where people are coming from and whether they're on the critical skills list or not. That will determine the timelines, I suspect.
Thank you, Minister. And you've actually just got it right. And from what you've just said to me there, is now you're looking at a common sense approach. So in other words, that the visas, through Justice, through your department, if they can work together, rather than working in two separate departments, if you can do applications together, it will speed up the process of getting in ones that do need a visa for the permits. And that seems to be the major problem that we're having, is when it comes to visas and permits. That it goes one route, then it goes the other route, and then it's taking too long. I do hope that what you have said to me there, that it would be nice that if they would work in tandem, and if they could come together on those ones that will actually help those critical employment into this country and help the people. The people at the moment that are actually helping this country are students that are coming here for education and languages. And they can only work 20 hours a week, and they're finding the cost of living very high, and during peak season they can work 40 hours. They're the ones that are actually helping us at the moment, trying in the hospitality sector to try and keep it going. So yes, I do agree with what you're saying, and I would look forward to seeing both departments working together to help this speedily.
Thanks, Deputy, for responding in a constructive way on that. I mean, look, it's not a straightforward thing to do, actually, to streamline a work permits process and a visa process. What the Department of Justice have to do around visas in terms of security checks and so on can be quite complicated and time-consuming, because they do rely on authorities from the origin country, if you like, where people are coming from, and therefore they don't always control the timelines in terms of responses. So it's not straightforward, but we have had initial discussions between the two departments in terms of trying to streamline that system. You know, last year we signed off on almost 40,000 work permits. This year the numbers are similar to that, might be 38,000. So we are getting through them quickly, but there are complications when it comes to visas. But I do recognise, I mean, we are currently in an economy that is beyond full employment, and there are lots of sectors, in particular the hospitality sector, but also agriculture and agri-food, construction as well, where there are lots of vacancies that need to be filled. We need to do that by reskilling and upskilling Irish people, making sure that others from other parts of the European Union and our single market can come and fill those gaps. But if that's not possible, we've also got to have a streamlined process around bringing in skilled workers from abroad. As I say, we did that for 40,000 people last year, and it'll be a similar number again this year.